Thank you, Madam President. I applaud my colleagues for their crash course in advanced goalpost moving theory. It seems as if when we talk about justice-related issues, that the goalposts continue to move down the field. That it no longer becomes a 100-yard football field, it becomes a 300-yard football field. It's conflated with bail and discovery in 50A, which actually opens records up, but never mind that. It's never good enough. It's never good enough. Well, that's how people that can't become employed, that's how they feel. It's never good enough. The countless number of New Yorkers who have been turned down for housing, turned down for jobs that cannot provide for their families, they never feel good enough. Advanced goalposts moving. Get a job. Go get a job. That's what they say. It's what they tell us to do. Go get a job. How? How? When you go from employer to employer, that takes a look at what you have done, the worst thing that you have done, and makes a value judgment. What are you to do? You're gonna get a job. How? Are you gonna take care of your family? This is economic justice. Economic prosperity. You remember your first job, Madam President? Everybody in this chamber remembers their first job. You remember the pride that you walked home with when you got that first check? White Plains YMCA for me. Counselor in training. It was a stipend, $200-something. Never felt prouder in my life. I had an opportunity to earn that. I was lucky, you know. I had a good family. They kept me out of trouble. They made sure I stayed in the straight and narrow. I didn't make mistakes like that. But what if you made a mistake and you've paid your debt to society? You have been incarcerated. You have been released. You have waited a certain amount of time, and still it's not good enough for some. I'm glad Andre Stewart-Cousins is the majority leader of the New York State Senate. I'm glad Zelnor Myrie has the courage of his convictions to look past the convictions of people. This is a deep print, Madam President. Hearings, conversations with DAs, law enforcement. Just because you don't like the answer to something doesn't mean that the question wasn't asked. Talk about unfunded mandates. What about people who are unfunded, unhoused, unable to provide for their families? What about them? I guess we don't worry about them. In the nation of second chances, I guess it depends on who you are and where you live. I'm grateful to my colleagues that support this important piece of legislation. But I'm grateful to the impacted individuals who have had to tell difficult stories that I personally don't relate to because I had it a little easy. Madam President, I'm appreciative of this time and in this season, and for that reason, I vote in the affirmative.